The snow fell heavily around the log cabin as Rebecca Sullivan sat on her leather trunk outside the home that was supposed to become her new life. At 24, she had traveled from Boston to the Montana Territory at her family's insistence, arranged to marry a rancher she had never met to settle her father's gambling debts. The man who had met her at the train station was not what she had expected from their brief correspondence. Samuel "Sam" Carter emerged from his cabin carrying a lantern, the warm light casting long shadows across the snow-covered ground. At 31, he was tall and weathered from years of ranch work, but his eyes held a gentleness that seemed at odds with the harsh frontier environment. "Miss Sullivan, you will freeze out here," Sam said, his voice carrying concern rather than command. "Please come inside where it is warm." Rebecca looked up at him with a mixture of wariness and resignation. "Mr. Carter, I want to be clear about our arrangement. My father sent me here to fulfill an obligation. I understand you paid for my passage and expect certain duties from a wife. I am prepared to honor those expectations." Sam set down his lantern and settled onto a wooden crate near her trunk, his posture non-threatening. "Miss Sullivan, what exactly did your father tell you about why you are here?" "He said I was to marry you to settle his debt of $800. He made it clear that refusing would bring shame upon our family and leave me with no respectable options." Rebecca's voice carried the weariness of someone who had accepted an unwanted fate. Sam was quiet for a long moment, watching the snowflakes dance in the lamplight. "Miss Sullivan, I need to tell you something important. I am not here to own you." Rebecca looked at him with confusion. "I do not understand." "I paid your father's debt and arranged for your passage, but not because I wanted to purchase a wife," Sam explained. "I did it because I have a sister back east, and when I learned about your situation through our mutual acquaintance, I could not stand the thought of any woman being bartered away to pay a man's gambling debts." Rebecca stared at him, processing this unexpected revelation. "Then why am I here?" "You are here because you needed an escape from an impossible situation, and I had the means to provide it," Sam replied. "What happens next is entirely your choice." "My choice," Rebecca repeated, as if the concept was foreign to her. Sam stood and offered her his hand. "Miss Sullivan, would you please come inside so we can discuss this properly? I have soup warming on the stove and you look like you have not had a decent meal in days." Inside the cabin, Rebecca found herself in a space that was simple but comfortable, with handmade furniture and shelves lined with books. Sam served her a bowl of hearty stew and settled into a chair across from her at the wooden table. "Miss Sullivan, I want you to understand your situation clearly," Sam began. "You are under no obligation to marry me or anyone else. I have a spare room where you can stay as long as you need while you decide what you want to do with your life." "But what about your investment in bringing me here?" Rebecca asked. "Surely you expect some return on that expenditure." "The only return I want is knowing that you have the freedom to choose your own path," Sam said simply. "Whether that path includes staying here, returning east, or traveling somewhere entirely new is up to you." Rebecca felt tears spring to her eyes as she realized that for the first time in her adult life, someone was offering her genuine choice rather than obligation. "Mr. Carter, I do not understand why you would do this for a stranger." "Because everyone deserves the right to determine their own destiny," Sam replied. "And because I believe that any marriage worth having must be chosen freely by both people, not arranged through financial transactions." Over the following weeks, as Rebecca settled into the guest room and helped with household tasks by choice rather than requirement, she found herself drawn to Sam's quiet integrity and respect for her independence. He never pressured her for affection or commitment, but instead engaged her in conversations about books, shared stories of his life on the ranch, and listened with genuine interest to her dreams of perhaps teaching school or opening a small business. "Sam," Rebecca said one evening as they sat by the fire, "I have been thinking about what you said when I arrived about not being here to own me." "What about it?" Sam asked, setting down the harness he had been mending. "I realize now that I had never considered what it would feel like to be with someone who valued my thoughts and choices," Rebecca continued. "My father treated me like property to be traded, and I assumed that was simply the way of the world. Sam looked at this remarkable woman who was discovering her own worth and felt his heart stir with feelings he had not expected when he had arranged her rescue. Rebecca, what are you thinking about your future now? I am thinking